Minji MP, Chadondo East, moved a motion to require one of the staff of NIRA in charge of procurement to be put on oath. It was not supported with exactness. There was an attempt by the Honorable Martin Mzale to say, maybe I would have supported the motion. So the motion went unseconded. But I also examined the rules and did not find justification for that. I needed to make that guidance so that the record does not remain hanging. So she will not be put on oath, but I'll continue to invite our witnesses to speak with not only honesty, but also clarity, such that you're not misunderstood. When we misunderstand you, sometimes we may get tempted to call certain rules into action. That's number one. Number two, the tools of trade are always here with us, not only today. These include the Bible and the Quran for people taking oath. Last time, Madam Rosemary Chisemba, we were looking at irregular evaluation of bidders under the framework contracts. And we were looking particularly at two companies, HP and, three, Xerox, Canon, and HP. The explanation was given, but I did require you to provide some information in writing, which you did not do. I gave timelines, did I? They were not complied with. So where did you put our explanations?
Honorable Chair, I apologize. I went for a funeral, so I was unable to sign the documents that were related to that particular issue. But we acquired all of them, and
please submit them, Edgar. That's that one. We shall read the explanation. I had.
May I take them through or first?
Oh no, you give them to us, and we will. You remain with your copy, which you will use to take us through. Or you give us only 2 copies, 1 copy?
No, there are others.
I have with me the procurement requisition marked as Annex 1 in relation to the companies that we're talking about. We have the clearance from the Auditor General, the Solicitor General. Yes. We have these documents from Cyber. We have the documents from NIRA on the list of suppliers of services. The market assessment report for assorted toners. We also have Form 5, which is the request for approval of procurement, and an internal memo to the accounting officer from the Director of Finance and Administration, through Director of Finance and Administration from the Manager Administration on request for authority to procure assorted toners and a framework contract. Yes, that's one set. Could you also speak to these ones which I do not understand? Bank of Uganda, government deposits for letters of credit.
There was a question around the accounting that Director of Finance will get into. The first is that the deposit of the money that we received at the close of the financial year. It is the document we gave to show evidence that the money was deposited on a Bank of Uganda government account. Yes.
Okay, so the documents are accordingly received. Secretariat, please take note. Director Legal, what was your role in the procurement for toner? That some documents were required from company X, and they were not given that yet supplies were made. The reason why contracts were not signed was actually there were two limbs. The first is that a contract was not signed because certain documents were missing or lacking. They were not supplied. They were not given, but then supply was made without a contract. Payment was effected. On the second is that there was no authority from the manufacturer of toner, no consent. But then the consent was not given, and because of that lack of consent, instead of consent from Canon and Xerox, consent was obtained from HP. The explanation was that there were three suppliers. One was HP. We do not have one from Canon and none from Xerox. You advised that payment be effected. Is that true?
It is true. First of all, my role comes in the Directorate of Legal. The role comes in when the contract is being sent to the SG for clearance. So we are the ones who draft for ED a letter to send to Solicitor General with the draft contract. So when it was returned, maybe I speak specifically for, I'll start with Carter Technologies. The accounting officer made an observation that the manufacturer's authorization that was attached was not the one that was required in the bidding document. And so she hesitated to sign the contract. So the contract was not signed. It turns out later on that the goods were delivered. Of course, that is outside our jurisdiction as a directorate. But somehow the goods were delivered and they were received. Now, when the goods were delivered, the company demanded for payment. So when the company demanded for payment, the ED wrote to me specifically to advise on whether or not she should proceed to pay in the absence of the contract. And we prepared a legal opinion to her to the effect that because we had received the goods under the principle of quantum merit, the service provider was entitled to payment regardless of non-signing of the contract.
Is quantum merit not being stretched too far? Quantum merit, yes, relates to pay per supply. But then the basic document is the contract. How did somebody end up supplying without a contract? Maybe it was a donation. How did we end up receiving without a contract? Who received? And I gave you time to find out who received. So who received without a formal arrangement?
On our side, they were received by the head of stores.
Who is your head of stores?
It's called Stephen.
Stephen who?
Kiza.
Where is he? This matter remained pending. Which documents is he supposed to base on to receive documents? Supposing I bring a lorry of matoke because he's in stores, he just receives? Or there must be an arrangement?
He based
Yeah.
his
here I can see Chiza, Stephen. Okay. Who is Gesa Silas? Dennis Ojok and Senyonga Yasin. What is their role? Is this ISO contract management team or
That's,
internal security organization?
no, no, no. Must be another thing, but that one was received by NIRA.
By?
NIRA.
Yeah. You know, a lot has been fused. Anyway, I think, colleagues, what is clear is that they received the goods without a formal agreement. They paid,
They've not yet paid.
not yet paid,
Yes.
but there is already an opinion that pay, because payment was effected on 10th December 24. So you
Payment
mean,
has not been effected.
yes, but okay, I mean, receipt was 10th December 2024.
No, receipt was 27th June 2024.
Well, which document am I looking at from your annex?
It's this.
Oh, it's the new annexes.
Yeah.
Let me have my.
Maybe Chair.
Incidentally, I was looking at this, which also has Kiza.
Maybe Chair.
Yes.
I want to. NIRA has stores where they receive goods and supplies. Now, when we hear that the way the stores are managed, you can in any way deliver and receive, it also presupposes that you can equally load and take away. So we may find that NIRA is in a circle of procurement, whereas whatever is procured is lost. Now, because it speaks to a compromised store or storage, there must have been a mechanism that once the way goods are delivered, they are transactional documents. Now, for a national agency to tell us that a company just delivered, no contract, no order, no procurement, it presupposes that equally a company can come and load what has been procured. We need to examine whether the stores are not compromised. And the NIRA needs to assure us if they could receive any goods, can't they load or take away any goods from the stores? Is whatever procured actually remain a property of NIRA? And secondly, the answer from the legal department is not convincing. The principle she is alluding to requires investigation on reasonable price. She's only telling us that once she was notified, she only gave opinion. We need to examine the opinion she gave. But Chair, legally, for one to recover under the same principle, there must be an investigation of reasonableness. Was the amount quoted the price?
Actually, you do not need to investigate. In that case, you have a whole contract for like construction of a building. You do determine and pay according to what has been supplied, because assuming a construction was to cost $1 billion and somebody completes 80%. But the underlying thing is that there must be an arrangement. There must be an agreement. Honorable Mwada, we will not investigate whether what is brought in is taken out, because we would be speculating. For now, let's restrict ourselves to this supply. But then,
But Chair, it is not speculative.
it is.
If a supply can be received without documentation, how can you be certain that I cannot load away
No.
without documentation? You know, it is a circle.
There's an assumption.
It speaks to compromise the stores.
No. Let's not speculate, because you'd be speculating because there is a real life situation that there was a supply which was made without a formal agreement. From your many words, I have picked something which I want to ask. You wanted to ask it, but maybe you You conglomerated it with in so many things. Let me hear from you, Madam Chisembo. Let me hear from her the chain of delivery. One, does a supplier wake up and say, let me go and supply? Or under framework contract, there is a requisition. In this case, did anyone request for supply? Because you have a framework contract, somebody will continue supplying as and when need arises. Did anyone requisition for this supply?
As far back as 30th January 2024, and it's Annex 1 in what I had first given you.
Good. That is where I want us to go. It is here. To the accounting officer, through Director of Finance and Administration, date, and from the manager administration. Do we have the manager administration whose signature I see here? Do we have the Director of Finance and Administration?
Yes.
Whose signature I see here? This is the lady.
Yes.
Madam, you approved. Did you know of an existing contract with this particular supplier? 2, ED, you cleared the supply, but you are the same person who had declined to sign the agreement. Tell us the circumstances under which you did.
If you will allow me, I'll take you through the documents.
Yes, ma'am. Which one?
It precedes this one I've just read out.
This one?
Yes.
Is the procurement requisition?
Yes, and it has a Form 5 attached. That Form 5 is in the PPD Act, the official or the trigger for procurement to begin. I will draw your attention to the quantities of toner that were required, but I will draw your attention more to Annex 2. Annex 2, it will explain another matter that is coming up. You take note that Lot 1 is HP toners.
True.
And they are the highest quantity.
And these ones had the document, we saw the document,
Yes.
which was...
So that was the basis for the HP
the
manufacturer's authorization.
Yes.
That person had bidded for the HP HP.
Okay. This one has no controversy because the document is there.
Yes. No, it's one of the issues that you had.
Oh, it has.
Yes. If you look at and where this matter was coming from, this first company, Cybil,
Yes.
The contention here was that they got a manufacturer's authorization from HP, and yet for that lot 3,
Yes.
they were supposed to
bring Chaucera
bring Canon
and Xerox.
and the Xerox.
Yes.
So
if you
there is
look
a
at
contention.
if you look at Annex 5, that is what they bidded for in their document.
Annex 5.
Lot 1. So that HP was for those toners. It's Annex 5.
Yes, we are talking
Annex
about
4. Annex 4.
Annex 4.
Yes, please.
Take us. Annex 4 has a document for Cyber.
Yes, that was their bid. To bring a close to that matter, we never called off from them at all. We've never made an order.
No. This bid is for lot 1.
I agree.
The query is for lot 3.
Lot 3, that
Yes.
is correct. For lot 3, even for lot 1, which they gave us the right authorization, we never ever called off. There's never been because in a framework contract, you supply based on a call of order and a local purchase order. So those two have never been issued for that company's bid supply, and they have never supplied.
Okay.
So I will return now to the matter that was at hand. The basis of Qatar's, we got a clearance from Solicitor General attached as Annex 6. And being the end of the financial year, I was informed that that is when the LPO was raised. And LPO is attached as Annex 7. When the clearance from the Solicitor General came, they assumed that the final clearance for the goods had been given for the contract.
Now you have used two words. One is assume. The second is I was told. Those are a little bit problematic.
It is true.
That's why I have blocked assumptions from my people.
Yes,
I will block assumptions from you.
fair enough.
Two, I will also not allow I was told without you telling me who told you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the local purchase order was issued to the company attached as Annex 7.
You know, Madam Chisembo, what you're telling us is all good procedurally. But all these supplies stem from a framework contract, which, as you rightly conceded, did not exist at the time. Would it not have been prudent, therefore, if you had summoned prudence, would it not have been prudent to first require that the documents missing be given and then sign the framework contract?
That's true.
You therefore what?
Chair,
Yes.
I'm inclined to ask, in the absence of which had refused to sign, Chair, would we be procedurally right to proceed to inquire whether the procurement was properly done when there was no legally binding relationship between the entity and the suppliers? Wouldn't we demand of them to refund that money? Although they have not paid, yes. Would we proceed really without a legal framework?
Yes, we would proceed with the inquiry. Because how would you arrive at the conclusion, even the one you are rushing to jump to, without inquiring?
Mr. Chairman.
That it is not there is reason for us to inquire.
Mr. Chairman.
Wait, sir. That the agreement is not there is reason for us to inquire. So by inquiring, we are proceeding well. By determining whether or not they should refund the money, we are barred by two reasons. The first is that the money has not been paid. The second is that we have not sat down to start writing our report and or judgment. We are still receiving evidence, and after receiving evidence, we shall review the facts and the law. We are proceeding very well. Honorable Kwizera, you're not satisfied?
Chairman,
You want to,
thank you very
just
much.
a minute. My honorable colleague from
Chair,
COSASE.
thank you. But I think, Chair, we should have legal whether she played her role well to advise the chief executive.
In terms of what?
Because he had said that it is they who advise the executive director to endorse contracts. Would she feel comfortable in this context that they went ahead to accept?
First,
the
factually, it
procurement?
is not true that she said she advised the executive director to endorse the contract. The answer she gave is to the effect that when consulted, she wrote an opinion that based on the principle of quantum merit, which we shall examine, go ahead and pay because you have consumed the goods. She did not advise on the endorsement of the contract, which is not endorsed anyway. Oh, it was subsequently endorsed. Did they supply the document? Okay.
They gave us the authorization. I think it's Annex 9 in the first papers that we gave.
Annex 9, which we have looked at. Honorable Quizzer, I'm coming back to you, so do not worry and make sure you do not forget the point you want to raise. Annex 9, from what I see, I do not see there the authorization. Do you see it? This is what I have as Annex 9.
The original documents we sent.
Oh, Annex 9 of the original, from here. I think we examined that last time, but we shall never tire in examining. Honorable Gaffer, you led this. Is this the document you're referring to? The one of HP?
No, the next page. The next 2 pages.
Sorry?
There is no document of that kind she's talking about.
No, she's referring to this document.
That document is not in Annex 9. These are.
Do you mean the certificate from TER? Is it TAVNOD? You have switched off.
These were companies that who are part of the supply chain of Xerox and the 3 suppliers who are allowed to trade with their goods. So they supplied us those 2 certificates.
Where do we read that from? Because with the document I am seeing, unlike the one of HP,
Mr. Chairman, the certificates are on Annex 9.
those are the ones I'm
The
reading.
certificates, the 2 ones, yes.
Because here the German Imaging Technology Dubai LLC, that manufacturing of processed toner cartridge, recycling of toner cartridges, provision of IT maintenance services and hardware maintenance services, certificate of registration, this and this and that. Let's compare with the one of HP and see, not in terms of form, but what it brings out. Wait, the one of HP is Annex what? Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, wait. Look at this Annex 5 attached to Cyber. Yes.
thank you. Mr. Chairman, the issue at hand
She
referred
said,
to in Annex.
she said eventually they signed. Right? Then we said, okay, after
Mr.
signing,
Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
let's hear Honorable Mzale. I
Mr.
respond and
Chairman.
come to- Yes.
there can never be a valid contract signed after supply. It
Now,
can't be.
no,
If I give you goods today and we sign tomorrow, it means I supplied when there was no contract.
lawyers know of something called a novation, where you go back and you ratify. But let's be slow, process by process. I did ask a question, did you sign? She said, eventually we signed. I said, the reason you had not signed was because authorization had not been given. Not so? And her answer was that authorization was given, but eventually. So we've been examining this certificate in Annex 9 of the original document to see if they amounted to the authorization we are talking about.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, can I?
Mr. Chairman.
Wait, colleagues. And we said, okay, in Annex 9, who authorized before you signed the agreement? She said, look at Annex 9.
Those are certificates.
Wait. So we opened to see if these amount to the authorization that what we are talking about that were required. And when you say, first of all,
Chairman, some information.
these are not from Xerox, they are not from Canon. So why I did not want us to interfere with that flow is I wanted the witness to first take through her documents. That will give us an opportunity from an informed view to ask her the questions we want. Because if we intervene now, before we understand these documents, we will lose track.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Kwizera.
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman, thank you
No,
very much.
let
Mr. Chairman,
speak.
in a contract,
Yes.
you have a contracts committee, specifications and the price. So for this one to supply, who gave them the specifications and the price? Isn't it better for this to give us who were the members of the contracts committee and what they did? Because you cannot say, I supplied. How did you know that they did the equipment, the goods, and at what price?
Before that, Honorable Kwizera, last time the question we asked, we went through the stages of contracts committee. It comes to the accounting officer. Accounting officer says, these documents are missing. Let us have them. She did not sign the agreement. Now, eventually, before or without signing the agreement, supply is made. Today, she has come to tell us that actually, because this is new now, that supply was made, that I signed the agreement. I said, okay, what had prevented you from signing the agreement was lack of certain documents. Authorization from the manufacturer. Now, she has given us these two documents.
Now, Mr. Chairman, there's something you are missing.
Yes.
Here, there is a difference between the accounting officer and the contracts committee.
That's correct.
Though, let me finish. Now, if the function of the the contracts committee is finished, and then if there was no contract, who invited them to supply?
That one is what,
No,
that's the
we
first
shouldn't
document.
answer for them. Let them answer.
I am not answering for them. I am setting my record clear for neatness that we have asked that question. Here, in your presence, look at Annex 1, which is what was given to us as the requisition. I do receive the copy like this one. You are holding a wrong document, I guess, Honorable Kwizera. Do you have a small one like this, which has been supplied in the course of this meeting? Okay, now, Honorable Kwizera, yes. I asked the same question you're asking, that who initiated the supply, not the contract, but the supply. I found that there is somebody called the manager administration who was said not to be here. There is director of finance and administration who is here, who approved because it went through her to the accounting officer. Accounting officer authorized. That's where we started, and I asked, you had refused to sign the framework contract. But here you are giving us, authorizing the supply. Because now we are not even looking for anyone else. We are looking for the accounting officer who authorized. Now she says, I eventually signed the framework contract. Can we look at the signed framework contract?
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman, we shall look at the dates when they signed the framework and when she authorized it. Which came first?
Let me lead you. Framework contract?
Chair, I'm sorry, in our haste, we forgot the copy of the signed contract.
Okay. When was it signed? When did you sign it? Let's see when the framework contract was signed.
I do not recollect, sir.
Can you send somebody to bring it now? Receive it in the course of the meeting. Wizard, do you still have any problem?
But I think she can recall when.
No. You cannot
You know, Mr. Chairman, we are...
You cannot stretch recollection that way. It is
Mr.
not
Chairman,
mechanical.
can I remind you that you can have a meeting in the UK when you are here?
Yes.
So she has an office. There is an officer there. They can photocopy and send it to us.
That's what I have done. I've
Yes.
already guided
Not
it. She has
sending someone,
accepted.
yes.
She has already accepted. Mazale. Yes.
I was manager here with us
To do what?
to tell us conditions, terms and conditions under which he receives goods.
The stores
Because before you
manager.
receive a product X,
The stores manager has already been vindicated. Because you would have problems with the stores manager if there was no requisition. The stores manager is not required to look at the framework contract. Once there is a requisition which has gone through the stages, he receives. Yes.
Yeah, it goes beyond the contract. I agree with you, the store person doesn't need to look at the framework contract. But before a store person receives the goods, this is a goods received note. Before that, there is out of the framework contract, they are supposed to issue a document requesting for what is supposed to be delivered. Okay? Then that is supposed to come with a goods delivered note, which I'm also going to ask for. Because the supplier must bring a delivery note, and that has to reconcile with the goods received note. We have only been given the received note.
That's not true. I think after
I haven't seen any other.
After Annex 1, attached to Annex 1, in a series of documents which were signed, and
In which annex, yeah?
Annex 1 of the small one, that one you're holding. She took us through the documents that related to the supply. quite a number, the entire Annex 1, including the market assessment. I think, colleagues, one thing you need to know is that away from the framework contract, these other documents, we were looking for the stores manager to tell us how he ended up receiving goods when the mother contract was not in place. The executive director has confirmed that she eventually signed the mother document, which is the framework contract. We are yet to see and to examine. You get the point? Because our contention has been consistently, you did not sign. Now she says, I signed. We said, okay. How did you sign when the document you demanded was not in place? She says, no, now it was in place. We said, okay, where is it? This is what she has given us. Do you get my point? Whether this amounts to the authorization or not is your judgment.
Chair. Yeah, you see, Chair, the fact that there was no contract at the time of receiving
At that conclusion, after receiving the framework contract, comparing the date on the framework contract and the supply.
Chair, I'm not
You're actually
jumping.
causing me to let the cat out of the bag.
No, Chair, I'm not jumping the gun because the CEO has already acknowledged and confirmed that she signed the contract later after receiving the goods.
Is that true? Yes. Is that what she said?
And Chair, I want to refer to the audit report.
That's why I'm referring. Wait, let's get this confirmation from her because it is factual.
Chair,
Chair, they've gone for the contract. I will help my recollection when the contract arrives.
Okay. We can pose any question relating to that date.
Chair,
Kunyinji.
opened up to us that after investigation, page 20, the third paragraph, after the table of the audit report, that by the time of the audit, that's October 2024, the contracts had not yet been signed. And the Auditor General continues that even the bid validity period had expired on 10th July 2024. Now, we are faced with multiple illegalities. The bid validity had expired on 10th July. The question we have, can you sign now a contract after the bids have expired? The legal answer is no.
No.
Then two.
The procedure answer is this, and listen. One, the Auditor General has made an observation. You get that observation, give it to the accounting officer to respond before you arrive at a conclusion.
But Chair,
this
is our second interaction with
Chair,
NIRA.
there is evidence here on the report on page 20. The third paragraph after the table, the accounting officer explained that the issue of the manufacturer's authorization was pointed out before the contract was signed, and as a result, NIRA did not sign the contract. However, despite the framework contract not being signed, toner was supplied and accepted.
Okay, now, colleagues, let's contextualize this. And I said this even in the previous meeting. We have two sets of evidence. Evidence one, which is the working raw material, is from the Auditor General. The entity, accounting office and her team, are perfectly entitled to contradict or rebut what you see in the Auditor General's report. If it were not that, we would not even be calling them. We would simply be rewriting the Auditor General's report. Always give an opportunity to the witness to contradict or concede to the evidence given by the Auditor General. Now that we are interested in examining this further, I would guide that we stand over this until we receive the framework contract.
Clarification, Mr. Chairman.
Chair,
Wait. Let me guide. No. We proceed with the other issues until they deliver the framework contract now.
Mr.
We revisit it when we have the document.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I want clarification.
Yes.
The Auditor General has made actually a report with us, and the accounting officer has a copy. I want to know from her, does she agree with the report? Madam Accounting Officer.
As long as, Honorable Kwizera, as long as it is resurrecting the question relating to this
Mr. Chairman,
query, I have guided.
I humbly request
No.
that, does she agree with
I
it?
have overruled you. Let us wait for the framework contract. Let's move to the next query and
but
stand over this.
Procedure, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, procedure.
You see, you can't put the chair to procedure when he's guiding you.
But if you are proceeding...
You know the rules. Who decides by the procedure? It's the chair. Kindly switch off that microphone. Let's proceed to the next query. We stand over this until we have the document we want in place.
Chair, I just wanted to draw you to one of the annexures, the letter from the Attorney General.
No. Honorable Nkunyinji Mwada, I am overruling you. What you are alluding to is evidence on the matter we have stood over. We are not losing anything unless somebody wants to run away from this meeting.
Or we can give the team a provision to concede.
No.
Because they may not have the evidence.
Honorable Mwada, you cannot assume that someone does not have the evidence when she says, let me bring it.
But here, we are going to invite them every day because we need to examine
You will not make that decision. We will make the decision on whether we will invite them every day. Delayed renewal of Oracle license. Just about to say that your conduct is disruptive.
No, Chair.
You do not access that microphone without clearance. If you want to go for Juma, you quietly move out. Go pray and come back.
But Chair, even amongst witnesses, there might be Muslims.
Honorable Kunyinji Mwada, switch off that microphone.
5 minutes and we pray.
Switch off that microphone.
Prudent.
A review of the project revealed that the authority planned to acquire license renewals for the Oracle database used by the central system, which houses the nation's identification register, and the Oracle license for the third-party interface, which is used by other entities to verify the client information against data maintained by NIRA. I noted that the license for the database of the central system expired on 28th June 2024, and the license for the third-party interface expired on 20th March 2020, remained at the evaluation stage and was never concluded. Idi.
Chair, if you will allow me,
Yes, ma'am.
I will continue to the part that says the accounting officer explained that the procurement began in financial year 23-24 but the contract was never signed as there were no funds available. Trigger the procurement.
I see.
Thank you.
Did you have this in your work plan?
It's a continuous license
Okay,
as we continue to use the product.
because it expired. Did you ask for the funds?
Yes, we did, and we have acquired the license.
Okay,
Chris, am I right? Yes.
okay. Let's just have the letter of request for the funds, basically follow-ups, because it's in the budget. If you don't have it, we can give you time. And any correspondences with the Ministry of Finance. Any questions on that? I think it's self-explanatory. Okay. I think we served justice to 2.51 previously when we were talking about mass enrollment, isn't it? So we can move to the next. Delays to fund the mass renewal and mass registration exercise. The accounting officer stated that NIRA could not contract the supplier before the close of the financial year as the funds were released at the end of the financial year. I think I will give the same guidance that you correspondences, because that's not yours. Then the next is about budget shortfall, where you talk about continuous engagements with the Ministry of Finance. We just want evidence of those engagements. And absorption. What do you say about the under absorption? We have given you the money. We have denied other entities money. You can't absorb the funds.
Honorable Chair, this money came on 23rd June 2024.
Colleagues, you note that? 23rd June. So is it 6 years, or 6 days, or
to the close of the financial year? And we could not contract without assurance of funds.
That's true. But you're not saying that in the...
Mr. Chairman,
If
if the funds come late and they were planning, do they have any contractual obligations that are pending?
pending?
This money was specifically for mass enrollment. It was for the new system and the activities related to mass enrollment. Parliament had appropriated it in December, but the actual cash, the money cash, was given in 2 tranches. There was a first tranche given of, I think it was 92. There was first non-wage given, but for the one, the bulk, the system-related transactions, it was given on 23rd June. 23rd
Ms.
June.
Honorable Zale, what is your question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman.
In relation to this?
Yes. I would, of course, relate it with the 2.21, because when you go back to 2.21, you'll find that all the activities that were in schedule, there were similar challenges related to duration of the contract period. Because all these contracts in here in this schedule, you go to 2, 3, you'd see that NIRA is, I think, is not actually responding to contract frameworks. Because contracts are not, I think, adhered to the timing as to when a contract must be executed within the timelines. So I think it's a general challenge. So when, much as she may give excuse of this money coming in late, but even where you go back and see money received on time, but execution of those contracts has not been on time.
asking quietly, which one? Which ones?
The ones that I've referred to 2.21, that is item number 2, 3, 4, you find that these ones were not executed on time. While they had the money, they received the money on time.
I will draw your attention to 2.21. The generators were still related to the mass enrollment exercise. The core system, the money for the core system was not available. The blank cards were waiting for the core system.
The way Madam Chisembo explains it, related to the core system, you know, the way. Yes, I think what we can show you is that each query will be examined on its own merit. My only concern is that some of the things you're explaining, the answers you're giving us, the record is capturing them, fine. But when it comes to your written explanations, they are not well brought out. When I look at your submissions, they are brief. That's number one. Number two, you had a lot of questions from this side on evidence. Where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? The queries are against the entity. It is the entity to explain the queries. Where money is given late, it is your duty to explain to us, I received this money on 23rd June. That's when I could start contracting. I could not contract in 6 days before close of financial year. Now, that is the kind of write-up I expect from you. Annex this like you did this. I could not, here is the evidence I received the money late. Now that is what will separate it from what the Honorable Muzare is asking, because it is not clear that these were all interrelated. That's why the Auditor General is raising them as separate queries.
Chairman Samkrat.
Yes, Honorable Kwizera.
The Chairman, I appreciate what they are going through, and we appreciate that at times they get suppliers supply without cash and they pay later, because that's a practice now in government. Why didn't they go ahead and contract, because the money was in the budget, the money was coming? Because in the previous contracts you have seen, they contracted.
The legal framework does not permit them. In fact, you would be querying. Government must commit, this money is here. They cannot contract.
So there was no budget and commitment.
In fact, if they had done that, they would still be answering. They would be still finding themselves on the wrong side of this committee. God would say, what do the standing instructions say? You cannot.
So then the Auditor
But
General,
also, don't forget.
The Auditor General should be at least lenient with them, because if the money came in June and there's no time, so why would
Honorable Kwizera, that is not the Auditor General's job. It is our job. That's the job we are doing now. Auditor General goes and says, I'm looking for inefficiency. Here, I have found this was not done, because he goes against the work plan. He looks at the work plan and says, did you do this? No. So clearing them rests with us.
So, Mr. Chairman, in this case, cannot end there. You have to invite people in finance who made them not perform.
Honorable
Yes,
Chair.
in our meeting, in our internal in-house meeting, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
He highlighted that, however, the non-release of funds implied that this could not be done.
You get it, Honorable
2.21. If you look at the paragraph that
Honorable Muzale, they are now answering you.
the one you highlighted, Honorable Mzale,
Yeah.
if you go to the table, number 1, he said, however, the non-release of funds implied that this could not be done. He highlights it at every stage. Thank you.
Or with respect to the next query, 5.5.5, it is about staff inadequacies. Why didn't you recruit? Give us the answer. I see the answer here, but I am able to read between the lines, but I want the answer from you. Look at page 23 to 24. Ma'am,
Chair, there was an ongoing discussion. There was a rationalization process that closed towards, I think, the end of June or July of 2024. And there was a moratorium on recruitment up to that point, sir.
5.6 is yes.
Maybe we need to